The RotoGrinders Daily Fantasy Football Podcast is presented to you by Yahoo Sports Daily Fantasy. This Sunday, they've got the $300K Baller Contest. Very reasonable, $10 entry with $30,000 going to first place. Certainly check that out. And the Yahoo Cup, they've got it for all their sports, but in NFL, not only is it a free roll that happens every single week, if you build the perfect lineup, you could win $1 million. Free to play. No reason not to jump in. Check it out only at Yahoo Sports Daily Fantasy.
Welcome back to the absolutely epic early week podcast, week 6. Dean here. Dean 704 if you want to get all technical on me. Usual suspects batting first is a returning champion. It's Grant Neiffer. What's going on, Grant? How all three of us, we talked pre-show, all three of us crushed last week, so let's flex a little bit.
Yeah, I did well. I won money. I put money in and I got more money out.
Congratulations.
That was a good week. Some big dummy on Sunday morning tried to talk me off of Teddy Bridgewater like a big dum-dum. I didn't get talked off. So I also tried to talk me off Mohamed Sanu. What an idiot. Tried to talk me off Philip Lindsay. What an idiot.
Mohamed Sanu victory laps is the first thing I did not think we're going to be hearing in this show.
Hey, I'm 2 for 2 with him. Every single week I've suggested him, he's gotten a touchdown, Dean.
Well, there you go. You pick your spots for sure. What are we talking about? Well, if not Mohamed Sanu, his teammates, because, well, Atlanta is in one of the top, total games this week at Arizona. We'll talk about that in a second, obviously. Who was there was also, you're kind of like selecting and picking and choosing. Wasn't there a washed-up quarterback you liked as well that didn't do particularly good?
Yeah, and I paired him with Cortland Sutton, and it worked out fine.
You had a miracle play. Good job for Joe Flacco. Mangone, jump in here. How last week was good for you as well, yes?
Yeah, man. I don't have to eat ramen noodles anymore. No more cereal. We can upgrade the food that we are eating.
Why would you not pay for cereal?
Yeah. What's wrong with cereal?
Well, I'm just saying, man. Like, I can at least live a little more luxuriously. Like, it was a good
cereal
week.
is luxurious.
How much money did you win last week?
I mean, at least again, like I said, we don't have to break out the ramen noodles anymore. It was a good time, so I can't.
Don't besmirch ramen noodles. By the way, I'm sure Grant knows this, and I'm sure out in LA it's pretty trendy. Like now, like they're selling ramen noodles for like $15 a cup at like some fancy like highfalutin restaurants. You're aware of it, Grant?
Oh yeah, no, ramen restaurants are huge, and they add like pork belly to it. They add all sorts of stuff, and it's not the same ramen that you get like top ramen that apparently doesn't fully digest in your stomach, but it's still delicious. By the way, creamy chicken ramen, by far the best flavor.
You really can tell the difference between the different flavors of ramen?
Yes, I am very much a ramen expert.
You have that kind of palate? I couldn't really figure it out. Like chicken and like
you can't tell the difference between chicken and beef.
Yeah, I don't think I could. They were basically the same. I'm not eating carbs right now, so I actually secretly would crave. I would be happy with some ramen noodle soup.
They have paleo noodles, just so you know.
Oh,
made with like coconut flour, almond flour.
That sounds like a fancy word that means no carbs.
Yeah, well, it's flour made from fat.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna be talking. You guys know that we're doing this. How this goes down, week 6. Somebody did lose, by the way. As far as the tweets or consequences, you're not gonna guess who lost again. It's almost like I'm tanking. I mean, it's on brand. I'm just flat out tanking.
Loser. Oh, sorry, Dean. I was coughing there.
Bless you there, Mangone. You gonna be okay? You be able to power through as far as the podcast, or?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good to go. Just had to get that.
You gotta blow the noggin, or you're fine. You're gonna be able to. You're good?
No, I'll give it a go. NBA season's coming around. I'll give it.
By the way, Dean, I almost saved you. I tried to save you, and you got angry. I tried to talk you into Will Fuller.
Mangone's got a nose. He's going to give it a go. Yeah, I was debating between Will Fuller, who thankfully I played in like my real games, but in this game I ended up picking Cole Beasley because I thought he was the safe play, and I thought like he would catch like a bunch of dump offs, and of course Josh Allen played, and that didn't work out in my favor. But we're not bitter about it. Later on the show, of course, we'll tell you my tweet. That's going to be good times, a lot of fun for sure. We do some shenanigans later on the show. Of course, we're all business at the top. Do want to mention, obviously, we're recording this on a Monday night. This is the first podcast you should listen to, not the last podcast you should listen to. Information does change. Speaking of that, boys, obviously a 10-game slate on the main slate, depending on where we're looking. On the sponsor site, it's just 11 games because they include the Sunday night game. So teams you will not be hearing bye weeks, Buffalo, Indianapolis. Good job, Indianapolis, by the way, beating KC. And great job just overcoming the loss of Luck as well. I mean, that's a good team to root for there, Indy. Good job. No Bears, no Oakland. They're still stuck in London or coming back to London. so they're not going to be playing this week. Thursday night, the Giants and the Patriots, cross them off the list. Tea and crumpets for Carolina and Tampa. They're playing an early morning game out there in London. We're not talking about them. Detroit and the Packers, they're on the Monday night slate, so we're not talking about them either. And again, depending on where you're shopping, Pittsburgh and the Chargers, that's a Sunday night game. You can play it on Yahoo. You can't play it in other places. I have some injuries, too. You guys want to hear some injuries?
I would like to hear some injuries.
You would want to rattle off some body parts, Dean.
Well, I don't – yeah, you know what? It's NBA season, like you said. It's coming around the corner, and I actually took notes. I was prepping for the show because there was no, baseball. I'm just – I didn't leave – I wasn't going to leave the house. Who's leaving the house? So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll prep for the pod. Why not? But in 3 weeks when we're doing NBA stuff, it's going to be a much different prep show. Nonetheless, David Johnson's got a back, so he's questionable. Stay tuned on that. If he doesn't go, Chase Edmonds is like a lock and load. He's like $12 on Yahoo and cheap everywhere else, basically. Hollywood Brown's got an ankle. He did come back from that game, so I presume he's fine, but who knows? Stay tuned. Brandon Cook's got a head concussion. If he doesn't play, maybe Reynolds becomes more interesting. Maybe just concentrate on the top two receivers and more confined distribution as far as the passes. Sam Darnold's got that spleen. He's questionable still. I have Mason Rudolph with the head concussion. He's questionable for that Sunday night game. They might have to be down to the third-string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Patches O'Houlihan, James O'Shaughnessy, he's out for the season. He's on IL. Kansas City, Mahomes, he's questionable. This ankle. Watkins has a hamstring. He's questionable. If he doesn't go, you got to open up a can of Byron Pringle. He's basically still minimum everywhere. 78% of the snaps last week. And Jay Gruden, his whole body, his entire body is out. He's not coaching for Washington anymore. That's a lot, Grant. You jump in here because I feel like I need to get a drink.
I mean, Mahomes is the real one I'm looking at right now. Pringle does make a whole little bit of a difference there. Becomes pretty much a free square, but Mahomes, if he doesn't play, makes things a little bit interesting. Houston's been all right versus the past so far this season, but not great. Mahomes can put up 40 points any game. I love playing Mahomes. So if he's out, that kind of makes that entire game stack a little bit less interesting. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week here based on whether Mahomes is in there or not.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the highest total as well. Houston, Kansas City as of right now, KC's a 5.5-point favorite. 55 is a total in that game, monster number. And Mahomes playing, Mahomes not playing would definitely shift the nature of the slate. Do want to mention, by the way, our question that we always have in the chat. We have a winner. Grant will reveal that later on. Grant, are you going to tell us the question for that they're going to be answering in the chats, or shall we wait for the end as well for that too? Or
I mean, we can wait till the end. We got to give people incentive to listen till the end.
Well, they want to hear Mangone's picks. That's the reason enough to stick around, right, Mangone?
Yeah, tell the people what's going on at the end so they know to stick around, Dean.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, there is nonsense. we do have some nonsense. It's a 10-game slate. We're gonna question Mangone's actress knowledge, movie knowledge. That'll be fun. And we'll tell you when. Just as a heads up, we'll say, listen, if you don't want to hear any nonsense, you're only here for the business. You're only here for the stats. You're only here for the picks. We'll tell you, we appreciate it. No pressure. Feel free to step aside and take off. But yeah, Mangone, do you feel any pressure? Because we were talking pre-show, and we're not out here to make fun of you, but it's a limited. Good thing you don't play actress DFS. This is not a specialty of yours, correct?
Yeah, no, I'd be looking for a lineup provider for that, man. That would not go well for me, actress DFS. But
you'll be hitting those ramen noodles again.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But it'll be fun times. I'm excited for it. But Dean, let's get back on track, man. Let's hit up the QBs. We're
going to do it, yeah. Well, I also want to mention, if you want to win yourself a free T-shirt, we have a winner from last week as well, too. Some good options that were thrown out there as well, but I thought there was a really strong submission, and I believe me and Grant agreed. I don't even know if Mangone reads the comments, to be honest. Mangone, do you read the comments? I don't, to be honest with the people.
Every week I've looked at it, I'll admit. Last week I did not. I did not mosey on in and check it out, but the other weeks I looked every single time. I checked them out. I refreshed multiple days. I was tuned in.
It's funny. I just yield to Grant. I go, Grant, you gave me a winner. I don't even bother asking you for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like this is like a forte of his.
Yeah, I'm a man of many talents.
Yeah. So again, you guys want a free RG T-shirt. It's not very hard. Literally, there's 7 or 8 comments in the chat, and it's a 1 in 7 or 8 chance to win yourself a T-shirt. Have fun, enjoy it. It's, get yourself a T-shirt. It's good times. Doesn't cost you anything but 12 seconds of typing something out, depending on how fast you may type. Quarterbacks. Mahomes, L-Jax, Watson, Wilson, Murray. By the way, Murray and Yahoo is very, very cheap. Open up the quarterbacks here, Grant.
I mean, yeah, up at the top we have Lamar Jackson going up against Cincy. Just a horrible defense. They are an 11-point favorite, but we've seen Jackson put up huge numbers and big blowouts so far this season. We got Watson up there at the top. 25-point implied total here going up against KC. So, like, it could, if Mahomes is in there, it could be an incredibly high-scoring game where he's probably forced to pass. And KC's pass defense has been just all right this season, but they can give up a whole lot of fantasy points. We got Russell Wilson going up against Cleveland. We know how good he's been all season long. Kyler Murray going up against one of the worst defenses in the league. They can give up just a boatload of points. I believe they just gave up a ton of points to Houston last week, 53 to be exact. Matt Ryan going up against Arizona, so like that's going to be a high-paced game. I think that's where most people are going to kind of gravitate towards, is going to be Kyler Murray and Matt Ryan, and I have absolutely no problem with going with either of those guys, especially if Mahomes is out. But if you want something cheaper, I mean, it's super sad, but Miami versus Washington.
Oh, no.
4,800 for Colt McCoy, if he's even starting. Dwayne Haskins is 4,900. Case Keenum's 5K. But they're going up against Miami. Case Keenum put up huge yard numbers in a few games this season. Colt McCoy and Dwayne Haskins probably still can do that going up against an absolutely terrible Miami defense. Josh Rosen going up against the Miami defense, I think they're near the bottom. Like, you can look at those two guys. I personally am going to go to a different game and probably going to go with Teddy Bridgewater or Gardner Minshew. That game's going to be decently high scoring, I think. I think the total's a little bit too low right now at 44. But they're putting up decent numbers. I mean, Bridgewater put up decent numbers last week. It's projected to be close. Anytime a game's close, then Bridgewater or like whoever the quarterback is for New Orleans can put up big games. So that's kind of where I'm looking. I really like that game as a game stack, just looking at things early on here. Really like Minshew's price tag. And if you need to pay down, then it's sad that Colt McCoy and Rosen are the ways to go, because that game is going to be just terrible, but could be full of a whole lot of fancy stuff, because you can pair up guys in that game. Like, you can stack that game up for really cheap and then pay up for running backs. I'm not sure if you want to, but that's my early week thoughts.
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts here. Malarkey, the new coach, talked about hashtag establishing the run there for Washington. The line is just kind of weird. Grant, have you seen the line yet in this game?
What is it, 40?
What would you guess? It's at Miami. What would you guess the line is?
Miami is favored by 3.5.
They're getting 3.5.
They're getting 3.5?
Isn't that weird? Is that wrong? I feel like that's wrong.
I mean, how is it wrong?
Well, I mean, you're telling me that Washington's a 7-point better team than Miami?
Well, first of all, it'd be a.
Am I doing the math right there?
6.5 point.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm rounding. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. But
the accountant couldn't resist.
Yeah, suck it, Dean. They kind of are. Like, let's be honest here. On defense, Washington might be better. On offense, what weapons, like, Colt McCoy is probably as good, if not better, than Josh Rosen. Chris Thompson and AP are probably better than Kenyon Drake and Balaj. And
incrementally, maybe, but not like distinctly. I don't know. Me and Megan were talking about this at pre-show, and like, I just thought it was a weird line. And of course, like, neither of these teams probably want to win in theory for the long run.
No. Well, this could decide the number 1 overall pick.
Is this conversation boring you to just yawn?
I'm tired. I'm old. Sundays are big days for me.
We may have lost Mangone. We're talking about Washington, Miami way too long. Mangone, we're not playing to beat this game, right?
No, I mean, listen, you're betting Miami. Like, is that like the lock of the century, right? Tell your grandma, tell your mom, tell everyone, tell your neighbor. Like, Dolphins are winning that game outright. Don't even take the points. Give the points to another dude, as Big T would say. So yeah, no, I definitely think the Dolphins are a bet that I'm going to have in this coming up week. I was too busy tilting about Dante Pettis dropping a slant out, because like my best ball shares are crying, my showdown slate's crying. I mean, that's like the most degenerate statement I think you've ever heard right there.
Well, I heard a more degenerate one. You bet on preseason NBA. You talked about that before.
Oh no, that's a dig, man. Don't do that. Oh man. Oh, that hurt.
We're not going to say if you won or lost, but you may be tilting a little bit in the podcast nonetheless. But it was process versus results, and I thought you had a good process, to be honest. So Grant's talking about spending down at quarterback, and it's wants versus needs. But Mangone, and I want to hear the quarterbacks you like, obviously. But it's an interesting slate where again, 10-gamer, 11-gamer on Yahoo. There's really the big spends. Like, there's no CMC. I don't need to just lock in CMC. He doesn't play in this slate, right? Not a great matchup for Cook. Not this great matchup for Kamara. Well, it's a fine matchup for Kamara. I suppose he can get it done through the air and, still going to get his 20 touches or whatever. But I don't know. There's like elite nut matchup I feel like I have to pay up for. What are your thoughts here? It's just like overall like building process and then bringing the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think overall, like I want my quarterbacks like I want my liquor, right? I want it all top shelf. I want all the guys at the top, like Mahomes,
You're greedy.
Jackson, Watson, Wilson, Murray, Ryan, all these guys at the top, man. Like they're in great spots. So I like that. But if we're talking Yahoo pricing specifically, I mean, it's easy to just go down to Murray, but you brought up a good point, right? Like pricing is a thing, and it seems like we just have this money to spend. So I think this is going to be big. I spend money at quarterback, and I typically don't do that, but I've been doing it more this season. Another guy that's cheap that I think is in play is Kirk Cousins, right? I know that their team established the run, like they don't care. They just want to run the ball a ton, but man, you can't run the ball against the Eagles. It becomes difficult. So I expect them to, if there's a time to, get the squeaky wheel off these guys like Diggs and Thielen, like this is a perfect spot, right? The matchup just lines up perfectly. So Kirk Cousins at 5,200 is in play. I think he's someone on DraftKings you can consider, but I'm definitely looking to spend up more at quarterback this week with probably Watson's like the first guy that's really sticking out.
We already busted out the WD-40 as far as Thielen, right? The wheel's already been squeaked. It's not squeaking anymore. That's not like a recurring thing.
No, but I mean, we got another wheel. I mean, Diggs is squeaking a lot. We can fix that one up. I mean, we'll have to see. But either way, I mean, Thielen's still, an awesome play. Like, so it's because it's the Eagles, right? Like this team, you just attack through the air every single week, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you're trying to run against the Eagles, like it ain't gonna work.
So, is Minnesota the coaching staff? Are they going to be smart? Or are they going to be stubborn?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna, go for the balanced attack at first, but like eventually, something's got to give. If the Eagles get up, like they're going to have to pass the ball. So like eventually, like I mean, obviously Russell Wilson's not out there to bail him out. Having Kirk Cousins try to bail you out is a difficult thing to do in the second half, but I'm expecting a lot of passing in the second half. And some of these guys, like Diggs, just has too cheap of a price. And again, like Cousins' price 5,200. There's not a lot of cheap quarterbacks to like. Like I'm not paying for Baker Mayfield, Andy Dalton. Minshew, I don't mind. It's okay. Like, I'm not playing a Redskin quarterback. Marcus Mariota, I'll pass. I don't mind Sam Darnold. I actually think he's pretty interesting. I think the Jets offense could take a little bit of a leap.
He talked about, like, potentially dying last week, just so you know. Like, so I don't know if he's going to play this week.
He said that he feels really good, like, about the results. He said he gets the results tomorrow, and he says he feels really, really good about them. He was hoping that happened last week, but he says this week he's feeling pretty confident, and he says he's excited to find out. And listen, if the man plays, like I think this Jets offense is going to be really interesting here against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that makes the game much more interesting, obviously. And as far as Yahoo specific, I kind of mentioned at the price. Kyler Murray, why is he $26 at home versus Atlanta? Like, Mangone, that's a great price, is it not?
Yeah, easy play on Yahoo. Unless you have money, right? Then go up. But yeah, I think Kyler Murray is one of the best point per dollar plays over on Yahoo.
And did you want to say a positive word about Minshew, Grant? I know he's your boy. He's your. I'm sure he's got the.
I did. I said I like that game a lot as a game stack.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't glow like as you did pre-show.
I mean, Minshew is fantastic. If you weren't already aware, it's very clear who he likes to go to. And Chark, every single week that Minshew does well, Chark generally does well because Chark has gotten a touchdown, I think, almost every single week. Minshew just passed for 347. It's a game where Latimer, he may have done a little bit better last week, but he still has not been great throughout the course of the season. Minshew is throwing 30-plus times a game, and he's been very efficient. No one's really going to play him at all, and I think that he's a very good play. Plus, he can run the ball, so suck it, Dean.
No, I mean, I'm all about the quarterbacks at wheels, and that's why if you want to start with 3 points on DK, I guess you can play Matt Ryan, but like he's also not going to run for 70 yards and like potentially get in the box. So like L-Jax, I love Jackson versus Cincinnati. That's just a putrid defense, obviously. The problem with Wilson against Cleveland is like if Cleveland's not scoring, if their line is terrible, like Seattle just is happy to run the ball 72 times. I want them from behind. I don't know. That's all about that. Well, come on. Grant, seriously. All the Seahawks I want from behind. All right, let's seamlessly move on to running backs. What is going on? Grant, do you think there's a running back at the top like you kind of sort of have to have? Like I don't think there's this like perfect play. It's a weird sort of, again, this is a first look and we talked about it last week as far as Tyron Smith, like how much he hurt the Cowboys. It's hard to say, it's hard to quantify, but we've seen it now for like 5 games now. The Cowboys just don't score a lot without him. The offensive lineman it's sting. They lost another lineman too. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play it this week or not. You got Cook as well, Kamara. Johnson, if he plays against Atlanta, for sure, I'm interested. If he doesn't go, you just lock and load Chase Edmonds. I hate the term free square, but that's a free square. What are you doing here as far as the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to play David Johnson here, but again, he might be injured. Up at the top, like Zeke going up against the Jets, they're probably going to run the ball a decent amount. It's most likely going to be a blowout. I'm fine with him. Dalvin Cook, again, like you said, you pass more against Philly. Their secondary is terrible, but Cook is still going to get enough of a workload where he's still in play. I really like Kamara. We know that Kamara is getting a big workload every single week because of the fact that Breeze is in the offense. Unless Breeze actually comes back this week, who knows? But Kamara, I think, is probably my favorite guy up at the top there going up against Jacksonville. Jacksonville hasn't been great versus the run. Kamara's involved heavily in the passing game each and every single week here. And I think that he could be in for a big game this week. And he's probably going to go the least owned of those top guys. I mean, people obviously just gravitate towards Cook and Zeke without Breeze in the offense. They don't really want to play Kamara, but he's probably my top pickup there. And then if you go down a little bit, for a bit further, I mean, Fournette, he's getting just a massive workload each and every week. He's a bit cheaper there. Mark Ingram gets Cincinnati, which Ingram's never really a guy I want to play, but he's getting Cincinnati. Then we have Le'Veon Bell, who has got tons of targets when Sam Darnold was actually in the offense, is quite a bit cheaper. I mean, we didn't think we'd see Le'Veon Bell at 6,400 probably at all. It seems like a giant misprice for a guy that's had 9, 10, 4, 9 targets so far this season. He can still do something in the rushing game. If Sam Darnold's there, then they can probably actually put up some points. They are currently a 3-point dog. Is that right? Do I have the right? No, the spread's 8.
You're talking the Jets?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's currently 8 points. And to me, you guys are both sharp side guys, right? To me, the spread or Vegas is telling us that Darnold's not playing. Is
that Vegas telling us that Darnold's not playing?
I saw it on Vegas Insider at 8, and basically every single book had it around 8 as well too. So again,
what has been the Jets' lines the first few weeks in the season? I think that says that Darnold plays.
Yeah, that says Darnold plays, Dean.
What do you know? What do you think the line is if Darnold's not playing? 12?
It's
12 to 14.
It's
against
12 to
the 14
Eagles.
In New York.
It's heavy. Have you seen Luke Falk play football? I mean, it might be worse than Andy Dalton and Baker Mayfield combined on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, the lowest line that the Jets have had has been 14 without Darnold in there. So you have to assume going up against a
potential That's only one game or 2 games.
2 games, 3 games. Even 3 games ago, I mean, week 3, I don't think Darnold played. And the Jets were still a 21-point dog to New England. So was he not playing that week? The last 3 weeks it's been 14, 21, and 17.
Okay, that's New England at Philadelphia, and what was the third one?
New England at Philadelphia, and sorry, let me just bring it up here. But in any case, it would be double digits if they thought that Darnold was.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
At 8 points, it's pretty much a lock if Falk's in there that Dallas is going to cover. But without
for sure. At that, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've been outvoted.
Are you sure it's 8? I don't know. Surfside, I'm seeing plus 14 now. I don't know what the line actually is, though.
Vegas Insider is where I kind of.
Is that what it has right now, or is that like?
It's live. They're live Vegas odds. Now you're making me scroll.
Are you sure you're not looking at the opening line or something?
No, I have it down for 8.
No, I'm looking right at it. It actually opened at 7, and now it's an 8.5, and at some places it's 9.
Okie doke.
Yeah, it's 9 in Circa Sports and CG Technology, whatever that is. I don't know. But, yeah.
Did the Jets have a bye last week? That makes more sense. All right, so it's only been 2.
All right. Mangone, talk about some running backs.
Yeah, I don't like it at the top. I mean, Dalvin Cook, you can play Dalvin Cook. I will not. If you're playing Dalvin Cook, I'm down for you to take my head-to-heads, I think. That's sound like the move this week. I'd rather have Zeke or Kamara, unless someone has some selling point that I don't know here on Monday night about Dalvin Cook. I just don't see it. This Eagles run defense is just too good. So, I'd rather go Kamara. I'd rather go Elliott. I'd rather go those routes. But I think this mid-tier is pretty juicy. I think there's a lot of guys to like. Obviously, David Johnson, if he plays. That's not mid-tier necessarily, but, it's probably a second tier off those guys at 7,600. Fournette, the usage he's seeing is a ton. You got to consider him. Mark Ingram, listen, I'm not a big Mark Ingram guy, but I get it. It's the
Nobody
right?
is.
Like if Crane was out there running against the Bengals, I think I'd consider it. So maybe we get you and Crane back there, Dean, running the Samuels and Connor role. I think that could work out pretty well.
Well, we've seen Crane in the tires before. You haven't seen me in the tires.
Well, listen, Crane can do the pass. He can do like the little lob off to you, and then you take that little end around.
Dude, I'm like Andy Reid in that punt, pass, and kick. Just nobody filmed it. You guys aware of that punt, pass, and kick competition with Andy Reid? Did I make?
No, I haven't seen it.
I don't remember.
You guys have never seen Andy Reid doing the punt, pass, and kick competition?
No.
Nah, I think you're dating yourself on this one.
No. Well, okay. First of all, he did like in the 70s. I'm not that old. I had access to a thing called the interwebs. Just Google it for fun. Everybody listening as well. He was like in like the punt, pass, and kick competition when he's like 13 years old, and he just towers over everybody else. Like he was a ringer. He had to be like 27 years old when he was doing it. I can't confirm if he had a stash or not, but yeah, it's a famous photo. How are you guys not? Well, never mind. Go ahead.
I'll have to check it out. But let me keep going. Like Carson, I think is an interesting play there for Seattle. Gurley, we'll get to him. He's really intriguing at that price. The guy I really, really like in this range is Le'Veon Bell at 6,400, especially if Darnold's there. The amount of usage he's just getting is insane. So all those PPR points on DK you can really eat up. So I think he's a really interesting option in that range. Again, one of those volume guys that was in a really bad situation, and now the situation's gotten better with a better quarterback. So like him, Devontae Freeman, right? I'm definitely team Devontae Freeman for all the season long and everything. And yeah, his attempts are not really there, but this is a game where he can absolutely eat huge totals. So I think he's a really good option as well. And the KC running backs, like, good luck taking your pick. I don't want to mess with that too much, but I think this mid-tier is really, really interesting.
Yeah, we were talking pre-show, like Yahoo specific, like the most expensive running back over there. We saw Cook was $40 last week, and the most expensive one this week is Elliott at 33, Cook's at 32, and we don't necessarily love the matchups, but like when you're giving those discounts, all of a sudden they become more interesting. Kamara's 29, gotta like that, and we like Bell. All three of us like Bell, but he's probably a better play on DK. He's 28. He's essentially the same price as all these guys on Yahoo. So, tournaments, of course, you can play him. You got a cheapie here, Grant, as far as some running backs?
Oh, I got a few.
That are good, though. Any good ones?
Well, there's Philip Lindsay at 5'3". I don't know how cheap you wanted. Oh, are you saying to Philip Lindsay? Why? How has he done so far this season?
Tennessee plays a slow plotting game, and the total in that game's 40 or something. No, it's 39. I gave it too much credit.
Yeah, how many totals have been over 45 for the Broncos?
Because I don't want the Broncos could be kicked out of this entire game could not happen, and I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't mean Philip Lindsay isn't putting up big points. He's had over 22 of the last 3 weeks, Dean.
He's the most appealing player in this game, probably.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know.
It's not exactly talking Washington and Miami, but who would do that?
Yeah, no, Washington, Miami. Why wouldn't we use Kenyon Drake?
What? Is that a rhetorical question?
No, it's not. I mean, he's getting one of the best matchups on the board in a game where they might actually be able to run the ball for the first time all season long. He's not been terrible. He just hasn't gotten a touchdown. He may get a touchdown here. He may get 2 touchdowns.
No, stop it.
He's involved in the pass game. He's super cheap. He's the only real cheap guy on the board. I mean, who would you rather have, Carlos Hyde or Kenyon Drake?
Well, here's the thing. The great thing about DFS is it's not like season long where these 2 guys on my team and I have to pick one of them. I don't have to play either.
I mean, that's fine. But this is the first positive game script, or even moderately.
They're dogs again.
Moderately neutral game script they've had. This is the first time they haven't been double-digit dogs outside of week 1, where they lost by 45 points.
Oh man, you should work PR for the Dolphins. Nobody has said nicer things about the Dolphins in the DFS industry than Grant. Bring some sanity to this conversation, man. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, man. I saw Andy Reid, so I'm all derailed. Now. This
That's amazing,
massive.
Right?
It's amazing.
Isn't it amazing? He was a ringer.
It's amazing. He's massive. It's unfair, but anyway, so yeah, let's talk about the cheap running backs. Matt Breida, right after what he just did on Monday Night Football against the Rams, you can certainly run on the Rams, and man's really efficient. I think Breida is definitely someone you can consider. One guy who got the bump from the coaches this week was Jordan Howard, right? We're going to get him more involved. We're going to run the ball more with him. I'm not saying the Vikings is the spot I want him, but it is enticing if he is going to get some volume at 4,900. We can't ignore what he's doing. I mean, he's been pretty decent for the price at least. So that's something you can consider. Edmonds is a good guy that you mentioned. Definitely need to consider him.
Just lock him. Just lock him if there's no Johnson, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a lock button, special lock of the century, just like the Finns to win, right? Same exact premise. But yeah, I like Drake a lot here. I think this is a good spot, man. You're talking about them being underdogs, man. I think he's a dog here, man. Like, he's going to eat. I like Drake a lot here.
You love the Drake.
Yeah, man, I'm a fan. I think 4,400 is a pretty good price. It's definitely more of a GPP play, right? Not something I'm in love with in cash. And the reason why is, like, I don't think I need Drake this week, right? Like, there's no Christian McCaffrey for me to, like, jam in and need to play. So, like, again, I think this is more of a tournament thing. It's not more than likely not going to be in my cash lineup, but I do think he's a really interesting play at that price. So definitely considering him as an option in the cheap range.
You talked about Burrito, by the way, and you said he's been efficient. He better be efficient because that backfield is cluttered. 11 carries, Monday night, as opposed to Coleman, 16 carries. Even Mozart took 7 carries. Juszczyk is still a thing. He lurks. I like the talent, but opportunity is more important than talent for me. And if he's only going to get like 12 or 13 touches, sure, in tournaments, I suppose, but it's not an easy button to click for me. Anything else here as far as running backs, Grant, or going to open up receivers?
Man, I don't really know if there's – I mean, Chris Carson we didn't mention. You mentioned how Cleveland might not be able to do anything. I think they're currently only a 2-point – Seattle's a dog. Seattle's a dog in this game.
Correct. Yeah, which seems weird.
Yeah, it's a super interesting line.
Is that classic, like, West Coast to East Coast 1 o'clock game thing?
No, because Seattle's kind of used to it by now.
No, is that why it's that line? Like, I'm when we get off, I'm hitting.
I mean, you are
Seattle.
aware that Ohio is not on the East Coast.
Well, East Coast time, but yeah.
Yeah, that's East Coast time, though. It's the 4 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Irrelevant and material. Move to strike.
But anyways, when I'm getting off here, I'm probably hitting Seattle. I haven't looked at enough bets yet. I think I'm hitting Seattle when I get off too.
You don't want to overreact to watching Monday Night Football and how disastrous they are, but that line is just terrible.
I thought the Browns were going to be awful in this game. I'm not unless Monken takes over the duties of offensive coordinator. Like the Browns are in trouble, man. I was definitely bullish on them to start this year, but that offensive line is horrific. And again, we have another defensive line in Seattle that is going to give them tons of problems. And Baker Mayfield's got happy feet back there. I like Seattle too as a bet.
I do want to mention one more running back. It's kind of interesting, and nobody wanted this guy at the beginning of the season, obviously. But Gurley, don't look now, Grant, but his usage last week, as far as the snaps, I was looking at before the show. It's like he was on the snap count for Todd Gurley was like 93, 94% last week. Any interest?
I mean, not this week. I'll have to wait and see because this isn't a good matchup. I mean, San Francisco's been pretty good against the run so far this season.
It's the volume play is my thought. If he's still getting 90% of the snaps.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that he's getting the red zone snaps, I believe.
3 of 4 last week, I believe.
No, that's only 75%, team. But yeah, no, if he's getting the red zone, I may have to look into it just because that price tag is cheap enough. But problem is Bell's $200 more expensive, and even if Gurley is getting the usage, I still think Bell's the better play.
Give me some receivers, Mangone.
Yeah, so receiver at the top. I mean, listen, it's a week that we should be able to pay for these guys up here. So Julio Jones, I don't know if it's the spot where he's going to erupt, right? We get the big game. He definitely, disappointed people last week who played him, but he's in play. Michael Thomas, I wonder how many people are going to play him based off last week. I mean, he's fine here, but I prefer other guys here. Give me DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's definitely interesting. Cooper Kupp, I like the price. I'm on the team telepathic connection with Jared Goff narrative. I'm all about that life, but I just don't know if I need to pay that price for him this week, right? Hopkins and Julio just seem like my two top favorite spend-up options there if I'm looking at those guys. If we hit more in the mid-tier, though, Thielen's fine, but I'd rather just go to Diggs at 5,900 and maybe take a shot on that with the squeaky wheel and everything. This mid-tier is not as enticing. I think Lockett could be intriguing at 6,400. It's mainly because that role is just so secure. Also have to Tyler Boyd too. I mean, Boyd is definitely a guy we're not buying it on this Ravens defense. This Ravens defense isn't what it used to be. And I still expect the Bengals are going to be trailing. And if that's the case, it's just Boyd is a usage monster. He's very similar to Lockett. Not exactly because, there's a guy named Russell Wilson throwing the Lockett and then the difference is Andy Dalton throwing to Tyler Boyd. But again, a guy that's just seeing so much condensed target share. So definitely have to like those guys. I'm all getting that opportunity in those targets.
You mentioned Kupp, 63 targets so far this year. He's clearly separated himself, at least so far, first 5 games, whatever it is. as the top dog there in LA, and it's like, well, which one of the guys just play Cooper Kupp? And especially what if Cooks doesn't play? Does he get more targets? Do we consider a guy like Reynolds, or is that too thin? Where are you at in that, Mangone?
Yeah, if Cooks doesn't play, like I'm definitely going to be invested in Cooper Kupp. Like this guy's for real. Like I'm all in on this. I was doing like the week 5 best ball drafts, and I just kept pounding on Cooper Kupp. I was like, I'm going like all season long. I'm going with him. Like I'm going to keep riding him out. It just seems like the spot is just too good. Especially seeing like Goff struggles last year, right? When Cooper Kupp ended up going down, like they found ways to make it work with Woods, but things were definitely not the same. So it's clear that Goff, it's like kind of Cooper Kupp is like his binky, right? He's a little baby and he needs that. And Cooper Kupp is definitely someone that if you got Cooks out, man, you strongly have to consider Cooper Kupp as a really good option.
Grant, jump in here.
Yeah, I think that Kupp clearly separated himself. He's leading the league in targets right now, and it's not horribly close. But honestly, I would much rather play Michael Thomas. I mean, Mangone just said he doesn't really want to play him. He's getting a 25%, 30% plus target share in every single game this season. Jacksonville defense has not been the same without Jalen Ramsey. They've given up big games to wide receivers. Sutton and Sanders both went off, and last week Moore didn't end up having a touchdown, but he still had close to 100 yards. Like, they were just running the ball late in the game because they were ahead, and McCaffrey was just doing McCaffrey things. But this Jacksonville defense can give up big games to opposing wide receivers. I really like Michael Thomas this week. Outside of him, there's not too many guys I'm really in love with.
What about Julio at Arizona? I think he's only got a 20% target share for what it's worth, but this seems like a great spot, obviously.
I mean, it seems like a great spot, but when has Arizona given up a big game to an opposing wide receiver?
Well, I was listening to your show, Grant, and you said don't play Tyler Boyd because they shut down number ones, and Tyler Boyd stuck it to you. So there you go,
at
Grant.
The end of the game when he was doing nothing for the first half.
It doesn't matter. The fourth quarter happens to be the same as the first quarter. It doesn't change. It's all the same. But yeah, how do we do this? I think this is a really interesting conversation. Rank the guys above 7K. There's 5 of them. The way I would rank them, I think I'm going to go Nuke Hopkins 1. I'll go Julio 2, Cooper Kupp 3, Michael Thomas 4. Again, Michael Thomas is fine, but I'm picking between a bunch of different options, and he probably just doesn't make the cut. And then Amari Cooper, I'd say at number 5. What about you, Grant?
I'm probably going Michael Thomas 1, Hopkins 2, Kupp 3, Jones 4, Cooper 5.
Dean, how about you?
I mean, I want to say Julio, then Hopkins. Do we know that what's his name's going to be out for Jacksonville again?
It's fairly likely he will.
He's spinning his Rolodex for excuses why he can't play football this week.
Is the trade deadline still week 6? I can't remember if they changed it already.
I'm not sure.
It's probably week 6.
Yeah, I think I got. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reason why people played Thomas last week was because of the price. Of course, the price is now hiked back up. He's 7.8K on DK, and I think the price has jumped as well. Where is he at? He's $33 on Yahoo as well. Most expensive guy, assuming Tyreek Hill doesn't play. He's tied with all the other dudes. Hopkins, Jones, and Amari's 32. And I probably put Amari last again. It's no knock on Amari, just like somebody's got to be last amongst this group. But I think it's Julio and then Hopkins. But if I can't get to Julio, I'm fine with Hopkins as well, too. That game's definitely shootout. Obviously game stack galore, especially under the presumption that Mahomes plays. It'll be a lot more fun. Who's Casey's backup? Do we know? I don't think I know. Does anybody know? Do they have a backup?
Casey's backup?
It's Chad Henne, right?
They stopped football. I think they just stopped football until Mahomes.
It's Chad Henne.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's my guess.
That sounds right. That sounds correct.
No, it's Matt Moore, I think, actually. Never mind. There you go.
Oh, all right.
Where did Matt Moore go to college?
FIU?
I believe it was Oregon State.
Oh, I should have played of course, that's why you know it.
Oh,
he was a Beaver.
My old roommate's sister used to date him. He'd come over and play Madden with him. He'd always play him as himself and be like, or my buddy would always play as him, and he'd just sit there and watch it. I would have made that throw in real life.
That kind of bleeds into our question, doesn't it, Grant? That's
a little bit.
The setup? I feel like it bleeds into it to some degree. Is there any cheap receivers you like here, Mangone?
Yeah, well, so I guess the cheap ones, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we talked about Pringle a little bit. He was certainly fine, someone that you can consider as an option, but I don't know. I don't know if we're really going to have to dip into this range. I'm blanking. There was one guy I had. Oh, Robbie Anderson was one guy I looked at that I thought was interesting at 4K, right? That's just too cheap.
You need Darnold. You need Darnold.
Yes, I'm expecting Darnold, though.
Well,
so
why would you go with Robbie Anderson?
You can go Crowder, too. They're both good.
Why would you go with Crowder?
Well, why can't I play them? Who do you want me to go?
Who was the top wide receiver for him this last weekend?
I don't know. I'm guessing the third guy who I'm blanking on right now. Who the heck was it?
It's Demaryius Thomas.
Oh gosh, no.
What, the guy that had 9 targets this last week? Yes, he's old.
Oh my God, he's too old. I refuse to play Demaryius Thomas.
I'm playing him literally 1 year ago.
It's also a different quarterback, right? Like Sam Darnold. I'm sure that just the Sam Darnold Demaryius Thomas rapport is not as good as what we have going on with
How
Anderson.
How old do you think Demaryius Thomas is?
I don't know. He's old in NFL years. He's probably 31.
Yeah, I think he is 31. He was drafted the same year as Tebow. He is 31.
Well, there you go. Nailed it.
Why don't you mention Dean? Why don't you mention the cheap wide receiver you like, former New York Jet? He plays for the Cardinals now.
Who is this guy I like?
He plays for the Cardinals now.
Oh, we were talking about this pre-show. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, former New York Jet. You ruined it, Dean. Keyshawn Johnson, man.
Yeah. Well, do you think that they're going to give him the damn ball or what?
They should give him the damn ball. He's in a good spot. Against
you guys were talking the pre-show without me.
Yeah, we had to do. Well, we were doing the questions. We're asking some of the questions before to make sure I'm not a complete idiot.
I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Mangone said, "You want to call Grant for this?" I said, "Nah, we're good.
I said I can't take another Mohamed Sanu take.
Oh yeah, you mean the correct take?
No, listen,
never the correct take.
Listen, that's Dean who bashes you on that, but he's
Dean,
another
4,500
guy.
We're not talking about this. Guys,
Grant only takes victory laps in the things he get right, and he just completely forgets the things he gets wrong.
Yeah, Dean, I don't know if you know how victory laps work. You generally only take them if you were right.
Tout 101. I should know better.
I took my L on Flacco.
No, I had to force it out of you. You weren't offering it.
I took that game stack. 50% of the game stacks I gave did well.
50%. You didn't play Sanders?
I did play a little bit of Sanders.
A little, yeah. How did he do? He got 1 target.
I mean, that's fine. I said that
Not
if
fine.
Hayward was playing, which he did, I want Sutton. So suck it, Dean. The cheap wide receivers, guys. Why aren't we talking about this Washington-Miami game?
Oh my God!
Preston Wilson.
It's
Devontae Parker.
Not Preston Wilson. Preston Williams.
Yeah.
Preston Wilson's a former Marlins, former Rocky.
Fantastic. Yeah.
He's good at baseball too.
He's in play.
Playing fantasy baseball. He led the league in RBIs, I believe.
By the way, DK Metcalf too is another guy. There's a ton of different bullets down here you can take some shots on.
A-Dot life with the Metcalf.
Auden Tate. Are we going to go back to the well with him?
He played every snap. Yeah, sure. I'm in.
Yeah, 45.
He's playable.
Really like him.
Don't need him, but playable.
Cortland Sutton. DJ Chark is going to crush. He's probably my favorite guy on the board.
Yeah. You're going to pair him with your boy, Minshew?
Uncle Rico, yes, I am.
By the way, you know how FanDuel has been like pricing all the guys down that are hurt, like at that minimum salary or whatever. If Breeze plays, he's $6K. Just throwing it out there.
Gosh,
like he's ahead of schedule. Like they're just tempting it. Like Barkley last week was 4 or 5. They're just determined to get somebody that's gonna like play out of nowhere. That's like Stone Mim, just gonna wreck the slate. But just throwing it out there. Keep your eyes on that.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he was 4 or 5 as well. That almost happened. Eckler, by the way, caught like 19 passes. He just caught one in the middle of this podcast. They were playing from behind, obviously. That's the night game on Yahoo, the night game, I think, on Fans Draft as well, not on DK, not on FanDuel. I don't think it's going to be an Eckler game, though. I suspect they'll be ahead because I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Steelers this week. Do we even know? The third stringer, I presume. It's not an Eckler week, is it, Grant?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What's his price over on Yahoo? His price is $22. That's actually enticing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good price. But, I think they want to establish Gordon, and Eckler's kind of like the third down guy. We'll see.
Why would they want to establish Gordon? It was basically a 60-40 timeshare last year.
Yeah.
Why would they need to establish Gordon?
Maybe establish is not the way to best. I didn't phrase that correctly. I would say feature Gordon. How about that?
One wide receiver we didn't talk about, also from the Miami game, Scary Terry. Why aren't we using him?
I mean, you can. I'm not.
Solid analysis there, Dean.
Well, look, I mean, your analysis was just give this guy a nickname. Just because his name is Terry, he's automatically scary, which is preposterous.
Oh, his real nickname is McLovin. because he's
that's
the
because
best man alive.
No, it's because of his last name. What if his name was like Peter? What was his name?
Well, he's the fastest man alive, which is McLevin.
I mean, instead of stereotype, I'd rather go DJ Chark.
Okay, what did we tell you about that before the podcast? Damn.
I had the over, by the way. I knew I was over under a half. I had Mangone sneaking in that in at least one time.
Yeah,
so
no, I told you I love DJ Chark, but Scary Terry, and then are people going to chase Will Fuller again this week?
You know, he's kind of pricey, but the matchup's fun.
Yeah, well, let's just take a second to acknowledge like how much smarter the field is like in 2019 as opposed to like 2016, 2017, whatever it is, because a lot of people would just kind of game log out there and like, Will Fuller, why are you playing Will Fuller? He's been terrible all season long. And like he was like 25% owned in tournaments. That wouldn't have been the case 4 or 5 years ago. And of course, because of people like us and tout sites and yada, 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 a lot more information out there. But Mango, did you notice this? You know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, I saw a tweet about it where he's like in the 4K, he was like 25%. So yeah, like this is a guy that's been absolutely awful. So yeah, I mean, team air yards was all over him. He was a great play, and he's definitely an interesting play again this week. I'm curious what his ownership does come in at, because again, like, this is the 55 total, right? It's the game of the week, but any game with the Chiefs is like the game of the week with the total.
Except for last week. But yeah, we don't care about last week. We don't care about next week. We care about this week and this week only because it's daily fantasy sports. As far as this week, as far as tight ends, Grant, you got Kelsey in that game, pretty pricey. Ertz, Kittle is pretty priced down. The flow chart is going to tell you to play Hooper. Disley, he's apparently a real football player that can make football moves despite the fact he's like not that fast.
Yeah, who's been saying that all season?
Dude, again, Tout Life 101. Yeah. So who do you like at tight end this week?
I mean Hooper. I'm not happy about it, but Hooper is probably the second option. I think Ertz is the first one. We talk about how bad Arizona's been against the tight end and how many points they've given up. I think that Minnesota's giving up almost as many targets to opposing tight ends, or at least as high of a target percentage. They just don't run as much plays because Minnesota slows down the game, but Ertz is a guy that obviously can have 10, 12 touchdowns any given game. Strange enough, Hooper and Ertz have about the same amount of targets on the season. I like both of them. I don't think there's a right one, and I don't even mind Kittle there right in the middle at 5,200. He's a guy going up against the Rams that should put up a decent game. I'm not going with Disley. I'm probably not playing Andrews. Cincinnati's actually been pretty good against the tight end so far this season. Gerald Everett, are we going to chase his 11-target game?
He's been getting some work. He's been on the field. And I don't think it's just pancakes. He's actually running routes too. So, and maybe he gets a few more looks if Cooks is out. I don't think he's like not playable, but he's obviously, he's somebody there just kind of make things work from a salary perspective.
I think a stat I saw on Twitter on Gerald Everett, and this was after the Thursday night game, so not all the teams played yet, but like of guys who were not, I think, running backs or one of the positions, like Gerald Everett, was leading the league in like broken tackles. So yeah, Everett's been pretty good. I don't hate that for that price, but Kittle's the guy I just absolutely love. Like smash play feels like a guy I'm probably going to play in cash. I do love Hooper though, so I don't know. I definitely have like a bias towards Kittle too, but like I said, I expect this Rams Niners game to shoot out a bit, and love the idea of the Cup Kittle stack. I think that's going to be a really good option to go to, and love Kittle in this spot. He's probably my favorite tight end. If you want to pay for Kelsey, the guys who are like, man, he's due and keep playing him, like he's had a really nice floor, but he needs to get the big touchdown game. Like it's certainly coming. I mean, he gets you double digits every single week, and one of the weeks is it's going to pop, and this could certainly be the week.
Yeah, he hasn't really had that absolutely monster game, but we know that's certainly in his bag. It's definitely available.
And we have money to spend this week, Dean. Like, this is a week where spending up, it's not that difficult. You keep saying that,
you don't want to play any cheap guys.
Well, Pringle could be a thing. We talked about Pringle.
Yeah, we don't know. That's the thing.
Edmonds can open things up. It's Monday night. It's hard to say, but those kind of things will definitely sway.
It's not that there's cheap guys I want to play. Like there's just not a lot I want to spend on. At least the running back position, which normally that's where a lot of my salary goes to. I'm normally just team jam them in, get a lot of the good running backs in. There's just not a lot of guys I really want to play. Like I could see myself doing just build 3 mid-tier running backs or. I don't know. I messed with before I got on the show. I think I built Kamara. I put in there. I threw in Fournette and Bell, or maybe Fournette and Gurley. That's a route. If I spend up a ton at running back, but I don't love that build. I put in Kittle, but then I was really thin at receiver, and I had to spend up quarterback. I was super thin at receiver, so I was I have to adjust some stuff. But again, it was just me kind of looking at some pre-builds, and like, if Edmonds comes into play, that's certainly going to be interesting. And again, it's Monday, right? It's really tough to build a lineup on Monday because even Thursday, like people ask me questions sometimes. They're just like, ask me after Friday. Like we need to see all the practice reports and what happens.
Who's asking you questions? People are sliding your DMs and asking this, or like your
Yeah,
friends
people in the
or what?
Discord chat, man. I'm a nice guy. If you want to shoot me a message on Discord, I'm happy to help. Just like not at 12:50 on Sunday. Like that's not the time. You get those season long questions, and that's the worst. But
what a jerk, Mangone thinks he's too good to answer my season long question 10 minutes before a lock. You got thoughts on like game stacks here? Grant, as far as, if you want to throw out a defense, feel free to do that. Those are kind of sort of self-explanatory and become pretty obvious. The high variance as far as the position as well. Stacks, totals, of course, Grant, Houston, KC as of right now is 55. The Arizona game's 52. Rams and San Fran is at 49. Cincinnati, Baltimore is pretty interesting at 48. What say you? What's jumping out for you as far as your favorite game, besides, of course, the great Miami versus Washington matchup?
I mean, the Miami versus Washington one, you can just get such – like it's going to be contrarian to pay up at running back. You just stack that game up at wide receiver and QB. You have enough to pay up for the likes of Cook, Elliott, Kamara. So that's kind of why I'm on. It's just kind of the two terrible defenses, two terrible offenses, super cheap. Like we saw Case Keenum put up essentially tournament-winning upside week 1, and I think week
we don't really know if he's playing.
I know, but I'm saying, well, regardless if Case plays, if Colt plays, if Haskins plays. Like
they said Haskins not playing for what it's worth. That's already been said.
All right, so Colt or Keenum, either one of them can put up a big enough game really fine. They've had tough matchups, and they've been terrible, but Miami's just such an easy matchup where one of them could do something. And even Josh Rosen, this guy was has some talent, and he has some decent – well, he has some serviceable offensive weapons. But that's just kind of my thought on that. Again, the stack I like, though, is going to be Jacksonville, New Orleans. I don't think they're going to get much ownership, even after Bridgewater put up a good week last week. Minshew can do a whole bunch. We know exactly who to pair him with, Dede or Chark or both. You can get all of them for fairly cheap. I think Dede's like 4.9 this week, and Chark is 5.4. Minshew's at 5K. So, again, save the money on guys so you can pay up at other positions. But that's kind of the game stack I like. And two guys I forgot to mention as tournament shots over at tight end are going to be Fells and Akins. Matchup this week is good. They give up a large percentage of targets to opposing tight ends. And these guys have been shown that they'll get targeted in the red zone here. So I don't mind going with either of them going up against KC, who's –
you think Fells is going to repeat his 2-touchdown game?
I mean, we've seen big games out of them or big touchdown games out of them. I mean, they're super cheap, 3-1 and 3-2. Like, that's not bad, but we've seen them randomly get targeted a decent amount in the red zone and multiple times this year. There's not, a real standout tight end that we want. And, okay, against the Chargers – Akins had 22 points and Fells had 16 points team. So suck it. Two of the last 3 weeks.
They don't carry over. That's
two of the last 3 weeks.
They start
done well.
At 0.
2 of the last 3 weeks they've had touchdowns. That's all you're looking for with a 3.2K.
It's anomalies. Outliers.
Outliers. In 40% of the games?
Mangone, jump in here. See if you can do better than takes as far as Miami, Washington, and Fells.
Yeah, man. I think Blender is on the show with his vomit staff.
What is going on?
But listen, I'm out on this Miami Redskins thing. I think it's interesting. I get it. It's definitely a large field GVP thing, right? Throw it in the $9, the $3, all that stuff. I don't mind it in that $150 build. But I'm not putting it in the I'm not putting it in one of my main GPP teams. I'll probably pass on that one. I actually really like like we talked about before. I like that Rams Niners game. I expect the shootout. Right, we get the Jared Goff home road splits paired up with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and then run it back with Kittle. Right, that sounds like a good time.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah, I'm in on that. And again, you guys always tell me oh, I'm playing this chalky stuff, but yeah, it's a high total, but I don't care. It's certainly fine. You can find out what other ways to be different with your lineup.
Hey, if Grant can point to the scoreboard, we can point to it as well. The what's it called? The Blitz. Cardi's the Blitz put up a 306 last week. It was all chalk, but scoreboard.
Yeah. Yep, true. You guys were bashing me last week for.
I think he was on Bridgewater, and Bridgewater was not chalk. And I don't think Michael Thomas was really that bad at chalk.
Oh, he was very.
No,
heavily
he was.
Michael
I mean, he was
Thomas.
60% in cash,
Yeah.
like super high in GPPs. I mean,
played
a
him.
lot of chalk was on it. I think Britt had a good point though. He was like, so it was a week the chalk hit, but like the top, like at each position, like 2 of the 3 like high owned like guys like all busted. Like Tate was technically a bust, I guess you could say. But yeah, I digress. I love the Rams Niners one. Of course, I like Atlanta, Arizona. I like the Houston KC game. But I think my favorite one right now, and again, it helps my stack a little bit easier because one, like the market share is really nice on Kittle. I like when my stack puts in a tight end because it gives me another receiver position. Like I definitely have this mental block, and I'm still working on it. But like I hate when I have to like jam in like 3 receivers on like the same team with the quarterback. Then I'm like, I can't play any receivers. Like I know it's like one of those like profitable tournament strategies, but it's definitely like kind of a little bit of a struggle of mine.
And Kelsey, by the way, $26, the lowest he's been all season long on Yahoo. We talk about Kittle at 22. I like those prices a good bit.
I'd play Kelsey over Kittle on Yahoo. I think that's definitely the move.
Yeah, if I have the $4 for sure. And again, we talked about Murray, how cheap he is over there. That's why I'll say Atlanta and Arizona. That's my favorite stack of the week. My favorite game stack. But we got to get on to the nonsense, right, boys? Is that the show? If you guys are done, you can, if you need more hot takes, or we have to make our bets, obviously. But we got some nonsense, and we're already running long, apparently.
Yeah, well, we definitely got to do the bets. What's our plan on doing these bets here?
Well, Dean lost many weeks in a row. So you can pick the position, Dean.
Can I make Grant pick a Dolphin or a Washington player? Let's see. I want you to pick friggin' Fells. Let's go tight ends.
No, you don't get to pick my pick. You get to pick the position.
Well, you touted Fells. I figured you'll like him. And I'm doing you a favor.
I said, it's a decent. Yeah, sounds good. I will take Zach Ertz.
This is the first time I'm hearing the name Zach Ertz.
I said
no. He did mention Zach Ertz. I'm taking Kittle. I'm in Kittle.
No. Okay. First of all, I was told via tweet that my rookie mistake. I'm too kind of a host. I'm letting you guys select first, and I'm always getting left with the trash. And
all right, let's do something else besides tight end because we only want the top 3.
I actually have like a way, like I've already thought of a way because I'm a listener. I'm paying attention to the podcast, and I'm not writing my supreme blog for the people. When we did our rankings, Grant said I like Michael Thomas number 1. I said I like Hopkins number 1, and Dean, you said you like Julio Jones number 1. So there we go. It's settled.
I don't like the fact that you came up with a solution because I feel like I got rope-a-dope there.
All right, but we're doing straight up points, no PPR.
Okay.
Well, no, hold on, Grant. Time out.
Dean gets that because he keeps losing.
Fine, we'll do that. But
no, forget it. I don't want your pity. Never mind. No, I want do the math, dollar for dollar. I don't want any pity.
All right, so we're doing dollar for dollar then. There we go.
All right,
yes.
That's fine. Well, Dean, are you ready to hear your tweet?
I'm bated breath is the description for sure. And tell people that they can leave if they want. And you can win a T-shirt in a second. We'll tell you how to do that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. But don't leave.
Yeah, you can leave after this tweet. We do tweets or consequences every week. If you lose, then you have to tweet out something and you can't respond to the people that respond to your tweet.
Lots of fun.
Dean lost this week for the second week in a row. 3 of the last 4 weeks. And his tweet is, "Hey, at Eric Crane, you baby back betch. Since the DFS community is hankering around for a boxing match, and some people are too chickenish, you know who you are. Me and you, 12-inch glove or 12-ounce gloves, and we both have to wear man thogs. Hashtag thongs in the ring. Hashtag epic pod." And we're workshopping it a little bit. That's the gist of it.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's every Tuesday I put out a completely absurd tweet these days, and even people are expecting it. But yeah, I guess. And it's my understanding there used to be a thing in this podcast where you would get choices, you would get options, you could pick one of 3, but now it's just this is it, and that's it.
I mean, if I come up with a good one, then I stick with that.
Yeah.
And you have never once given me an option. You've given me one option.
Well, because I keep losing, so I don't have the chance to give you an option.
Well, going back to last year, you always gave me one option. If it's a good one and it's not terribly embarrassing, I get multiple options when it's like, oh, no, I can't tweet that out. No. But this one, if you have a problem with it, then suck it up and don't lose 2 weeks.
No, I guess got to stop losing, basically. But, all right, where we're doing it, me and Crane, we're going to throw down. You think Crane's going to accept?
I think he will accept.
And you're adding Crane, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not. That's
I'm
fine.
just making sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
we
really
already went
afraid
through
of
that.
him.
I just gotta make sure that went down, man. I want to make sure you know, and I can't wait for all the interactions. It's gonna be a good time. I will be sure to send you a message if I don't hear anything by noon.
I expect to see some photoshopping of man thongs. on Twitter.
Oh, dude, we actually could hit up Devin maybe about getting a picture
no,
of
we're
you
not
two.
doing.
Grant, this
His
is
work computer.
Why are we doing
How'd you get
this?
fired? Grant, maybe do something.
no, we don't have to do the man thongs, but we could do like the boxing match with like the two of them,
Well,
like
the Borat.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
incognito mode and looking at boxing match and thongs.
Yeah, I'm sure
Listen.
there's probably a site for that. Just gonna venture a guess.
Worst case, I know a Photoshop guy. If we don't want to go through Devin, I can
You
make
got a
this
guy?
happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually got two guys.
You got two guys for Photoshop just in case one is not available.
Yeah, man.
All right, we got Wonder Woman versus Catwoman, bra and thong. I don't know why that's on there.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That's the first thing that came up.
There's a Patriots thong there. That's neato.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, this might be the portion where people are turning it off.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Hey,
Let's
hey
move
Grant,
on.
tell the people who won last week, who won in our comment section.
Oh, yeah,
how they
I
can
got
win this
it.
week.
It was so basically the comment last week, or the question last week, was worst roommate scenarios. We got some good answers. I personally like the DUI, and he wouldn't get bailed out of jail. So the next week, when his buddy turned 21, he went and got a breathalyzer installed in his car. It's funny stuff. But the winner was a guy in college, would always come back home, notice that his desk was messed up, his bed was messed up. So finally he put his laptop on to record it, and apparently the guy would dance to Barbie Girl. There is a link in the comment section.
Do we believe that story is true? Like, I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't
but
care
I'm
if
buying
it is true.
it.
We
Yeah,
basically
I don't
said
care.
if it's
Yeah.
a good story, then like if it's believable enough, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Mac D Man 11. Feel free to slide into my DMs or hit me up in the old RG. You won yourself a free T-shirt. We'll make that happen for you next time the batch is sent out. And he put a YouTube link in there, and it only had like 300 or 400 views or something like that. This will learn you. Mango, I hope certainly you didn't dance to Barbie Girl or anything. Certainly a comp of that. When your roommate was not around. I assume that wasn't a thing for you.
I did that when my roommate was around.
No,
I still do
I
that.
haven't karaoke to it, danced to it. I'm in the clear.
Does Mango know the song Barbie Girl?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. That kind of leads into what we're doing next, I guess. Grant, what's the question this week for the people? They want to win themselves a T-shirt.
Question this week is weirdest celebrity sighting situation. All mine seem to involve me getting myself signed or bathrooms. I've run into Jose Canseco in the bathroom. Well, someone said, "Hey, is that Jose Canseco going into the bathroom?" And me and my buddy immediately stand up and go into the. He picked the middle urinal for some reason. We went into the two adjoining ones.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah, but that was good for him. And then 2 years in a row, I think it's Kyle Busch that goes and has a tournament at the MGM.
Race car driver?
Yeah. And 2 separate years in a row, like I barely remember the first one, I actually physically run into him on my way into the bathroom because I'm in the poker room when he has his poker tournament. It happened 2 years in a row. I'm like, oh gosh, this has happened before the second year. Yeah, his bodyguard is never too happy, but me just being a drunk guy.
Mango, do you have a celebrity sighting in real life?
Yeah, when I was at the Patriots-Packer game last year, the DK suite, I got to go to the bathroom, right? Second quarter, I was like, I got to go, start walking towards the bathroom. And, I saw a guy I knew. I was like, whoa, like I know that guy. That's 50 Cent. So, I took a picture with him. He taught me the tricks, how to work it. And now I'm,
How to work what?
Dude, how to work the streets, man. How to get money, get paid. You know what I mean?
Well, how much banter did you guys? It wasn't just small talk?
Nah, we didn't talk that much, Dean. I was
Are you
just
like Facebook friends now?
No. Actually, MySpace is in my top 8. So there you go.
Tom, Grant, and CJ. Who else is in there?
Oh man, we're not going down that rabbit hole. I know what you're trying to do there. I saw what you tried to do.
You remember like years ago when you were like, how am I not in your top? I mean, people have had that argument before, right? Why am I not your top 8? All right, nonetheless, I'm going down a rabbit hole that's not worth talking about.
Yeah, it made more sense to me. I was in high school when that was out. You were like a 40-year-old man, Dean.
Oh boy, jeez. Seriously, I was not. But I have a young sounding voice, right? The people wouldn't know I'm 57 years old, right? I don't think, give or take. Maybe I'm wrong.
You've aged decently.
It's debatable as well too.
I mean, you don't have that much gray hair. Do you have gray hair? I found my first gray hair in my beard.
Oh, I got some salt and pepper. Yeah, for sure. Well, if I can grow a beard, which I really can't, but like it's gross and it kind of grows.
Well, you can. It's just only on your neck.
Well, I wouldn't call it a beard. It's hair.
If anyone wants it, just ask Dean for the video. It's floating out there. The No Shave November was yikes.
Oh yeah, that actually did happen. Yeah, it's so gross. It's not for the kids. It's NC-17. I would not watch it without the permission of an adult, locally around or something like that. But we had one more thing we're gonna do right before you step us on and get out of here. And again, if you guys just wanted to hear sports stuff and all that, thanks for watching. Good luck on week 6. But Grant, we're going to have some fun with Mangone. Speaking of like what Mangone knows, what Mangone doesn't know, I'm fascinated by like what he knows about pop culture and actors and actresses specifically. And we were just going to play the game. Now, the game changed pre-show. What are we doing as far as the game?
So I'm just going to name actors, and I've looked up some big name actors from the 90s to see if Mangone can even know who this person is, let alone any movie he's in. Anthony Hopkins.
No shot.
I have no clue who Anthony Hopkins is. I could check out what movies he may be in and see if there's a movie I've seen, but I don't even know who.
You clearly haven't seen Silence of the Lambs.
Yes, I mean.
You like fava beans?
I mean, is this? Yeah, I know. He's in Thor, I guess. So I've seen Thor, but I didn't know who this dude was.
Al Pacino.
We were supposed to wager on this, Grant. Weren't we supposed to wager in this, Grant? American dollars? I thought we were going to wager American dollars in this.
Oh, we should have been. Al Pacino.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Godfather actually in high school. That's where I saw it in my senior year.
Still haven't seen it.
That's super shocking.
You saw the Godfather?
Yeah, I saw it in high school. I had to sign a waiver or whatever when I was a senior in high school. They forced me to do that. I had to go home. It was one of those things we did in June before we graduated. I don't know. My English teacher wanted.
You had to sign a waiver? You thought it was an adult film or something like that?
I don't know. In high school they make you sign crap. So
I guess.
There you go.
Okay.
Jodie Foster.
I mean, I've heard the name. I've probably seen Jodie Foster. I'm trying to let's do the quick Google search real quick to see. But
you might see Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I definitely none of these movies. I haven't seen any of these movies. I mean, I know the names, but I haven't seen any of these movies.
So
Robin Williams, I'll give you an easy one.
Oh, Robin Williams, man, I know him from Flubber. So that's how I know Robin Williams. So get this. I had when I was whatever age I was, I had a Flubber birthday party, right? Movie party. Had pizza at the mall. Then we hit up the movies and saw Flubber. I had a Flubber hat, man. Had a little
oh my god
movie stuff. Yeah, good
That's
times.
The worst birthday party. Flubber. Did you like it as a kid? Were you a dumb kid?
I mean, I liked Flubber, man. I thought it was fun. It was a good time.
It's a good movie.
Dean,
do you think he's gonna know this one? Kevin Costner. Do you think he's gonna know?
Can he name a Kevin Costner? Yes, I think he can because of sports.
Can you, Trav?
Yes, I saw whatever Kevin Costner movie it was, the sports movie. What was the one in the draft day? That was it, draft day.
I was thinking.
Can you name any other one besides that?
I just pulled it up now, and it's not looking pretty for me.
Have you seen Waterworld?
No, I haven't seen Waterworld.
Oh my god!
Field of Dreams, though. You've seen Field of Dreams?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen Field of Dreams.
Oh my god!
Worst.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these. But I typed in Kevin Costner movies so far. I'm scrolling through. None of these I've seen. None.
Okay, so Grant, hold on.
It's just draft day. It's the only one.
So Grant, what I did is I asked Mangone pre-show. I said I named an actor. I said, don't tell me who it is, but just tell me the first thing you think of, like what part, what movie, yada yada yada. And I want you to try to get in the mind of Mangone. He has an answer. I asked Mangone, the first thing you think of when you think of Samuel Jackson, what do you think Mangone would say?
It's probably not going to be Pulp Fiction.
Definitely.
My guess is he's going to say Snakes on a Plane.
There we go, baby. That's number one of the favorite keywords. Snakes on a plane.
I can't believe I got that right.
What an amazing! How is that? You got it. It's really tricky. There's different layers. There's different levels. I was going to guess the Capital One card. That's the guy who sells credit cards.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, but I've seen the scene where that big epic scene with Samuel L. Jackson. I know the scene. I saw that part, but that's it. It was on TV.
Picturing? There's the whole movie's.
They're in a diner or something, and then some shooting happens. Yeah, there you go. That's what I know.
Sandra Bullock.
What's your guess, Grant?
I think he's gonna say The Proposal.
Yeah, The Proposal. That's the one.
That's one of your favorite movies of all time, isn't it?
No, it's a solid movie though, man. I definitely like it. But
Wow, I'm 2 for 2 right now.
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
believe this.
I mean, who doesn't mind Ryan Reynolds? Betty White's in there too. It's a solid movie, man.
Oh my gosh. I have a couple more, Grant. I don't know if anybody's still listening, but this is just enjoyable for me and hopefully for Grant and Mangone as well. Grant, now again, you're sweeping the board. You're crushing it so far. I'm glad we're not waging
We'll
American
go until I
Horror
lose one.
Well, you're probably going to lose here. John Travolta. What does Mangone think? When he thinks John Travolta, what does Mangone think?
I think he's going to go with – this might have been a little too early for him. I'm going to go with Face Off.
Ooh, that's a good nominee. I was thinking Battleship Earth, maybe?
No, guys. I think it's Grease.
Oh, gosh. I didn't think you got
he's,
that.
He's really popular for that, man. Like, I know I don't know much pop culture, but he's very popular for that one.
All right, that's a good one to end on. He actually knew Grease. I'm impressed.
Oh, we're not going with any others? Oh, man.
I have a couple more. I've already pre-screened them on. If you want to throw them out there, if anybody's still listening, I don't know.
Yeah, if anyone's still listening, good for you. Yeah, throw one more out there.
All right, one more. Tom Cruise. What does he think of when he thinks of Tom Cruise?
It's got to be one of the Mission Impossibles.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, here's the kicker. It is Mission Impossible, but like when Dean first said it, I was like, oh gosh, what movies is he in? Like I need to look up these movies. Like it was a disaster. And then I started looking through all the Tom Cruise movies. I haven't seen any of them. I have not seen a Tom Cruise movie. So there we go.
No, that can't be possible.
Gosh.
I'm telling you.
We need to get out of
Top
here.
Gun. Have you seen Top Gun?
No, I haven't seen it. Like I know it's
Jerry Maguire?
No, that's one I do want to see. I haven't seen. Like I actually want to see that.
25 years since it's been released.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me, Dean.
Oh gosh, we gotta get out of here. We're done.
Mangone, you don't complete me. You know who completes me? Grant. Grant completes me. Grant. Hopefully, I had you at hello. Mangone, anything you want to say before you get out of here?
No, man. I guess I was gonna try and do a Snakes on a Plane reference, but I was gonna say like it's.
I'm tired of these.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it, but yeah, we can get on out of here.
Grant, finish strong.
Oh gosh, go watch Top Gun, Trav. Just go watch it.
He's gonna watch the new one that's coming out in the theaters. Like he's gonna.
I'm super excited for that one, but
Dean knows what I'm doing when I get off the show. What am I doing, Dean?
He's playing Fortnite. Let's be honest.
Yeah, winner, chicken.
Do you know who
dinner.
Patrick Swayze is?
Yes, I do know. But the movie it's Dirty Dancing, right?
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
You've never seen it, I'm assuming.
No, I haven't. But I know the scene, right? The lift.
Well, no, the scene is the pottery. Wait, no.
You're thinking of Ghost. Gosh, Swayze's great. All right, we're getting out of here. I want to go watch some Swayze movies.
He's Grant. He's Mangone. Roadhouse. I'm Dean. Enjoy week 6. We're out of here. Holler.
Tickets.